is Mike 7 Charlie Sierra, commencing the Saturday Ragchew Net. I'm going to sort out where all the audio levels are coming from, but I've already got Steve GW5VOG. I've got you in the log already. You keyed up was the live stream was going there, so I'm going to try and take some more check-ins. So if you'd like to check into the Saturday Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
G0EUZ, Rod in Cambridge.
Okay, there, got you there, Rod, G0EUZ. So thanks very much. Right, if you'd like to be number 4 into the log, go ahead with your call sign, name and location for the Saturday Ragchew Net.
Make 7, Golf make Whiskey, George and Calwick and Scotland. Make 7, Golf make Whiskey.
Yeah, Mike 7, Golf Mike Whiskey. Thanks very much there, George. Got you in the log. If you'd like to be number 5 into the Saturday Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Okay, left a bit of a gap there. So far nothing heard from stateside, unless you came before the Ragchew, and that was, I think he might have been calling out. It's on the log there. But of course, yeah, nothing from Michael as yet. But we do know that his clock's changed, and then yeah, he might remember it didn't work. But yeah, I would have expected to see him soon. But of course, yeah, our clocks are changing as well. At 2 AM, so the reminder's out on every page except this log page. I've noticed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up to the top of the list. I already got you as a pre-check in there, Steve, GW5VOG. Over to you there, Steve.
GW5VOG returning. Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Rod. And anyone else who might be listening. Yeah, I was getting a bit worried when I looked at 1929. It looked like it was just you and me, Chris. So I was thinking of some Chris questions to ask you. I was going to say, how's your houses coming on, etc. That kind of thing. But anyway, we won't have to do that now unless you want to. Give us an update on your houses. Anyway, yeah, one thing I did today, I looked at YouTube. I've got quite a few amateur radio things I'm subscribed to, and one came up about a new ham clock. Of course, the ham clock that's on the what's it called? I've forgotten what's it called. The little computer that we bought. It could be finishing in April, although it looks like how somebody needs to get it going. But I think you've got to type in some commands to still keep it or something. So I'll have to look into that when the time comes. There's one or two other imitation ham clocks around. It looked quite good, but there's a new one today called Ham Dash. Everyone's going on about, and so I had a look at that. You don't download it. You just go on your website, put your call sign in, which is very similar to one of the other ones, and it looks actually very, very interesting. It's strange because you scroll down rather than click on links to go to all the information. All the information's there, and you scroll down. and it's got quite a lot of very interesting propagation stuff. And I think that's quite good. You can see everything that's there through one scroll, as it were. Because I think with some of them where you have to click on links, sometimes you forget that the links are there and never click on them and miss them. So there you are, Ham Dash. It's on Chrome. I got it on. It works mostly on Chrome, so you can use it on your Android thing. They said. I don't know what happened then. About 150 seconds, my transmission cut off. Anyway, yeah. So the writing's very small, and I sit on a 10-inch tablet, and it was still quite small, but it's very, very interesting. So there we are. Hamdash.app is the website address on Chrome. And back to you, Chris M7CCS from GW5VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, the over was slightly flaky, and then yeah, it dropped. Then we had an ident from cqnorthwest, and then of course yeah, we had you come back and you said you didn't know what happened there, and you came back as a 0. But yeah, it's all good. But not a problem. And of course, yeah, I've got hamdash.app. Of course, I already use Google Chrome, but yeah, I create my own apps. So for me dashboards, for my live dash, etc. So if I was to present my screen, we're going to get yeah, the live software going out. But if I actually open up there, that's not an app. So yeah, finding one of the apps. There we go, that's an app. So if I pull that across on the live stream and make it all big, that is an app within Google Chrome. So yeah, you can pretty much, when you're in Google Chrome, you can create an app, and it works out for you. So of course, yeah, you can create an app, and by doing that, you can tell it whether you want it to start with a system or not. So I've actually got, if you're watching the live stream, I've got a screen here. This computer, when I turn it on, it quite literally opens YouTube Studio as an app. It opens up a hotspot. Yeah, that is a hotspot. So that's a hotspot. So I've got an end user, so I know. Then I've got the gateway opens up, and then I've got my DStar hotspot, which is connected to another source. But of course, yeah, I'm still popping out of it. So of course, yeah, then I've got the live window for that. And they're all as apps. So literally, I just turn the computer on, and as soon as it logs in, it just opens the app windows. So it's made setting up a little bit easier on that computer. When it comes to the main live stream computer, ooh, Windows, I could chuck it out of the window. But yeah, decided it wants to update every Saturday. Not happy about it. But of course, yeah, you get everything all sorted and you think, yeah, that's all ready to go, it'd be good. And then, yeah, you come up and you pass the shack and you look in and there's a sign-in screen. Right, I've hit the time, mate. So we will go round to Rod G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ coming right back. Yeah, good evening, Chris and Steve, and to George there. Nice to hear you for the first time. I'm Rod, and I'm in Cambridge. Well, near Cambridge. So I've been fiddling with my hotspot this week, trying to get it going, make sure it will stand up. We'll have to see. I still don't know what's wrong with it. So we'll have to wait and see. I've got another radio standing by just in case, and we'll see what happens. So apart from that, I've actually done very little. I've had a consultation with my consultant this week, and she's very pleased with my progress. I'm very, very stable, so that's good. And we can carry on there, forward from there. So, I'm definitely not going to hit the timer. Pass it back to you, Chris. M7CCS T0EUZ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, my time, mate, it's set a little bit differently, and the reason why it's set that little bit differently is to make sure that I don't time out and time my own gateway out. So I knew that I had that little bit extra to have a chat away and whatever. Now, if you're watching the live stream, you'll notice I've put a normal PyStar dashboard up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add some 2s onto the end of that address and do an update on there. But for those that don't actually know, you can pretty much do that. And there's someone there on YouTube who said, I'm ready to check in next go, but we'll put him in, Whiskey Alpha 5 Romeo India Papa, and he can go on this go as well. So next we're going to go around to George, M7 Golf Mike Whiskey. Welcome to the Saturday Ragchew Net. Over to you there, George. Okay, nothing heard from George. We give him a chance on the next one. There's a chance he could be listening on live stream. It's about 8 seconds delay. So we will go round to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. You've still got in on the first round. Round to you there.
Chris, this is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa from Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America, where it's very cool to do temperatures today. And I'm sorry I'm late. My wife was sick, has been sick for the last hour or so, and I didn't know I was going to be on the net at all. But she's feeling a tad better. But if she does get worse and tells me, I will be checking out early. But I just want to let you know that, and welcome to everybody on the net. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. And I'll turn it back to you, Chris, this time, so I won't time out and take over the net. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, okay there. Thank you very much there, Michael. Well, it's the bottom of the list, so we're going to see if anyone else would like to check in, and then I will get that password correct on the live stream. So, would anybody else like to check in to the Saturday Ragchew Net? If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over to be number 6.
MWC, WMP, North Wales, UK.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Will. I've got you in the log MW3WMP. Do you want to take your over there? There's a confirmation that you've got in to the net there.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. I'm just popping in just for a few minutes because I've got my own system up now in YSX. I don't know what happened to Simon in Potmatic. It just disappeared a number of weeks ago now, so I decided to get my own anyway. Yeah, it's been a busy time. I've been decorating all day, and I've just got some friends coming over in a few minutes. Well, I hope in a few minutes. But I'll be listening in what I can do. But nice to hear all in there. Back to you.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, yep, that's all good there, Will, and of course, yep, sounding good on that WiresX system that you're using there. So, all good. So, is there anybody else who would like to check into the Saturday Ragchew Net? Go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
I'll say a quick hello, N6 UTC, Long Beach, California, where it's very warm.
N6 UTC, okay there, NDAF. Go ahead with your over.
Yeah, pronounced out. N6 UTC here in Long Beach, where it's just 12:45 in the afternoon. The space-time continuum should be back to the 8 hours after 2 o'clock this morning, your time, when you go forward. We went forward 3 weeks ago. So it's been very confusing in the last 3 weeks with a 7-hour time difference. It's been very warm here. I'm just doing some stuff around the house. Exciting stuff here. We got a new washing machine today that got put in. Hooray. And yeah, so I may or may not be here on the next round over. Hello, William Phillips, Grease of Power Bunny on Companion. N6TTC, over to you, Chris.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thanks very much there, NDAF. And of course, you saying hi to Grill there as well. So you've got you guys on the list now. We'll see if there is anybody else. If you would like to check in before we go back up to the top of the list. So if you'd like to check in, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, so we'll go up to GW5 VOG range. Are you there, Steve?
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Good evening to Gwilym and Endav. Yeah, and I was going to, I've written down here to apologise to George because I forgot to say good evening to him before, but he might not be there now, so it might be too late. Anyway, if he is listening in, I apologise. And his audio was very hot with me. I don't know what it was like with you lot, and maybe he had a little problem. That might be why it's he's not here now. Okay, good evening, Michael. Nice to get you on. Not really late. I was thinking of maybe you've gone on the No Kings protest, but not. Sorry to hear your wife's not very well. And let's hope she carries on improving. And Rod, great to hear that your consultation with the doctors was good. So let's hope that carries on as well. And good evening to Endav. I'm not sure whether my audio might have gone a bit funny at the end of your over, but I think you said a few words in the language of heaven, Welsh, which I always like to hear on the WALES-WDRG Net. I think it's very good to hear a bit of Welsh. And it's always tickles me that it's coming from California, not Wales. Anyway, so there we are. And anyway, back to you, Chris M7CCS from GW5 VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, it's all good, and of course, yeah, he emigrated that way. That's where he went. Well, actually, don't know if we can say emigrate because yeah, he's got British nationality as well, and he's also got British call sign. And so yeah, that's all good. So next we are going to go round to Rod G0 EUZ.
WALES-WDRG. Yeah, good evening to Michael and Endaf. And, well, yeah, unfortunately here it's been very cold today, particularly. It was cold yesterday, but it was very cold today. It was like an Arctic wind. Just dropped the temperature by about 5 degrees, I would have thought. A touch of rain this afternoon, but not too bad. So I've not really been out, apart from walking the dog 3 times. I suppose you can count that as going out. But apart from that, I've not done a great deal. Yeah, this radio seems to be holding up. It's usually the second over where it crashes out on me. I'll tell you what I have done. I put a different aerial on. I wonder if that's helping it. There might be a fault on the other aerial. So yeah, good. So what else is there? Yeah, I've got a total of 5 hotspots here, and I've tried them all. You know, and not had a lot of luck with any of them really. The one I have with WPSD on, it keeps saying it's updating. It just won't move on from there. Unplug it, plug it back in, and what have you. If I go to an SSH, it does the update and finishes and restarts. But it's just on the dashboard where it's the TXC, or is it field is. It says in there updated, and it doesn't move on from there. So it's a shame that, because that's the Raspberry Pi one, the Raspberry Pi 3. So there we go. So anyway, if this one works, we'll stick with it. I'll tell you what I have done. I've disabled the DStar on this particular hotspot. So that might be the problem. Okay, back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0UZ.
Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, that one was brilliant, and of course, yeah, it will still stay on the live stream that you are transmitting, because yeah, you were talking about WPSD, and yeah, what I tend to do is if a hotspot isn't behaving very well, I don't always open the dashboard, and I'll just go in with the 222 on the address. SSH in that way rather than do it via the interface, as to say, and then I will put yeah, sudo WPSD update space all, and then press enter, and of course that's what I've chucked in at the moment. On the right hand side, we're using a split view, so we've got the dashboard, and we've also got an update taking place on the right hand side. So there's not a lot to update on there, but of course, yeah, it's doing the job, and you know, of course, I'm using WiresX, so I can update the hotspots while I'm talking there. At the moment, the gateway is just sat there scanning around like it was a scanner, and then of course it will wake itself up after this. There we go, restarting services, and where it's restarted the services, it just wakes itself up. There's now a hotspot again. And it'll actually cry out the gateway call sign, and then yeah, it happily starts going. But that's when you will see me go in there, and it's not relevant, but I will be yeah, taking off modes and things, so that I've definitely got this going. But it looks like I've just gone straight out through the tool group 6, instead of it identifying itself. So yeah, it's working well. So we'll go round and stick with our hotspot rod. It seems to be brilliant. So we'll try for George. NM7 Golf Mike Whiskey. Okay, nothing heard from George there. So we will go to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India, Papa.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India, Papa here. Glad to hear everything in raw in today. You both sound really good. Hey, Stephen, the No Kings protest, the last one we had was 1776 against King George, and it worked out pretty good for us, not so much for them. But I don't know what they're doing these days. I see the talking heads say that there's a No Kings protest all over the world, all different countries. How does King Charles feel about that, having a No Kings protest in his country? That's my question today. Everything's been going pretty good here. Actually, this morning I made a contact with Israel. That's my newest country is Israel. I almost got a chance to get Pakistan, and that would have been 2 new countries for me today. But I didn't get all the way didn't get connected with Pakistan. He left before I got a chance to make a full QSO with him. So this morning, that was early this morning, and it's been a good day so far today. And things have gone okay as far as the weather's just kind of cool. Run the fireplace quite a bit this week. But with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India, Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I don't know how King Charles feels about anything, to be honest. But of course, yeah, the only thing that I can really say is the annoyance of course, yeah, pretty much that is the annoyance of what's going on. So of course, yeah, fuel, price of that's gone through the roof. Of course, we've started to notice from last week things have gone up by about 50 pence in supermarkets as well. So yeah, things are starting to creep up very quickly. I've watched one petrol station where it's crept up by a penny every single day. So yeah, but that's all good. Well, it's not all good, but yeah, we just have to live with it. So we go over to Wales now. We go to Gwell. Mike Whiskey 3, Whiskey Mike Papa. Okay, we'll try and give another call for Gwell. Mike Whiskey 3, Whiskey Mike Papa. Okay, we're trying N6 UTC. Okay, we're trying for anyone else. Would anyone else like to join in? If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over to be number 8 in Saturday Ragchew Net. Okay, please be there, Steve, GW5VOG.
W5VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Okay, yeah. So just one little thing for NDAV as well. I'm sure he saw that Wales soccer team was knocked out of the World Cup a couple of nights ago. Unfortunately, we lost on penalties here in Cardiff against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I think all the home teams that were playing that night did not get through. So I think we're left with just England and Scotland. I'm sure Scotland are there as well, but England definitely are. But that was a shame about Wales, because they were leading 1-0 until the 80-something minute. So don't know whether NDAV was able to watch it over there. I expect the time wouldn't have been too good. But anyway, there we are. And Michael, weirdly, I had a contact on FT8 with Israel yesterday. Obviously, it's a lot nearer to me than it is to you, so it's not such a big thing. But I haven't actually noticed any Israeli stations on there for quite a long time. They're probably preoccupied with something else down in their air raid shelters and that kind of thing. Yeah, I had contact yesterday. It could well have been the same guy. You never know. Anyway, there we are. So, yeah, back to you then, Chris. That's all I've got for this round. M7CCS from GW5VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, it's that thing. Of course, yeah, finding Israeli stations. Yeah, you might find a couple that just keep in contact. But yeah, some people have got a little bit more on their mind, haven't they? Than playing on the radio, but over there. But of course, yeah, you might call. You know, sometimes you get some people. They just it's all going on around them, but they're just sat there on the radio because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm not really going to know anything about it if something happens, are they? So that's that there, Steve. So we're going to go round there to Rod now, G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ. Yeah, all good there. No problem with anybody's transmissions there. I think Willem's friends must have arrived. That's why he's not able to come back, and I think NDAF said he probably wouldn't either. So there we go. Three Musketeers and D'Artagnan again. So yeah, I didn't switch the radio on today. I wasn't going to do it today, but yesterday wasn't too bad, and I had plenty of time. So I was going to do it yesterday, but I didn't get round to it. I'm glued to this chair, I think. It's shocking, really. But yeah, Michael, give our best wishes to Kathy. Hope she improves. Food-wise, today I had a change. I was going to have my usual barbecue ribs, but when I looked in the fridge, they weren't in it. So I mustn't have bought them last Monday when we went shopping. So I had a steak and onion sandwich instead. It was very nice, actually. Enjoyed it. Well, I had two. But I'm still hungry, that's the problem. Whereas the ribs seem to fill me up. But there we go. Yeah, fuel prices. Fortunately, I filled both of mine up just before it kicked off. So the Land Cruiser is full of diesel, and to be honest, it's very seldom I actually fill it up because I hardly use it at all these days. But I did, you know, I went and filled it up, and that should last me a long time. And the other car, the hybrid, I suppose is it doesn't use a lot of petrol either. But of course, I'm going away next week, So I will be using petrol there and back. Probably about 200 miles, 220 miles, something like that, there and back. And while I'm there, I'll probably use electric. So there we go. It's weird, the charging this electric up, you know, the hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid, and when the weather's nice, you know, a nice warmish day, it'll give me. Oops, time out. I'll just drop key. Yeah, on a warm day, a full charge will give me 21 to 23 miles. But on a cold day, I'm lucky if I get 12. I got 15 today. I've had it on charge all afternoon, so I got 15, which isn't very good, is it? Anyway, back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0 EUZ.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you know, I think people know by now my views on electric, really. But of course, yeah, it's, but I do say, you know, you could do with it now. But of course, like you said, it doesn't get you all that far. But of course, yeah, miles will degenerate, won't they? And I don't know if you've got regen, so apparently if you brake when you're going downhill, that sounds weird, doesn't it? But you brake when you go downhill and it regenerates power back into the battery. But of course, yeah, I've watched a few things on YouTube where these people will get these electric cars. They'll buy them pretty cheap, and then they'll use them as a daily and try and work out, you know, the mileages you'll get in on second-hand cars and things like that. Because of course, yeah, it would all, you know, if you're buying it second-hand, it all depends what it's being used for. And of course, we all know the little joke. Of course, even VW put it into their advertising campaign. The advert of the car, one lady owned it, or the Reverend has owned it, and I'm selling it for them because they haven't got the time. And it's, you know, it's only been down to the church and back and round to the shop and all that, where inevitably, yeah, just for sake, we don't know, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone. Liam, who's got it, who really lives round the corner, has been ramping it over the bridge like a Golf GTI. For months and months on end, and yeah, it's just starting to sound, you know, it sounds like it's running sweet, and yeah, you're going to sell it and say that the little old lady had it, and of course it's been looked after. But of course it's all about whether it's been looked after, because we know, you know, with a phone, if you start chucking your phone on every day, it degenerates that battery. And of course, yeah, it's the same with electric cars, isn't it? They charge better when they're at a certain percentage of battery than not. So I don't know anything too much about it, but you know, I know with your mobile phone, you leave it on all night, then yeah, it degenerates, doesn't it? If it keeps happens to keep charging. And of course, when you first get your mobile phone off, the thing will last you for, well, you know, nearly 4 weeks. But of course, that's the thing going to be with these cells. And of course, there's my time out, so I'll take a piss. So yeah, with the cells, of course, something I learned in these videos, if one line of those cells go out, yeah, you're looking at problems. The car could just come to a stop. But I don't know whether that complies with a normal one. That might be the guy that, yeah, he built a power bank of vapes. So all the vapes that everyone threw out and stuff like that, he collected them. And he built a power bank. And first of all, he run his house on it, and then he got a G-Wiz, and he's run that on it. Of course, yeah, it's the weird things, but it's the algorithms that YouTube does when you're watching a video. So we spoke to Rod, so we go to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And yes, we have a lot of people that complain about the gas prices here. It's about $3.50, which is higher than it was last year. And but if you back it up to about 2022, which is about 4 years ago, under the last president, it was between $4 and $5 a gallon. So I guess it's all relative to when you were talking about it, because we had much higher gas prices back then. But you think now that we had the highest gas prices ever. But that's, again, not all relative when you talk about it. But I have a hybrid car, which gets pretty good gas mileage. I also have a smaller car that gets about 36 miles to the gallon. And the other one, the hybrid, is partially like electric and gas. So it gets about 42 to 45 miles to the gallon. So it depends on how fast you put your foot on the pedal. But we haven't had a whole lot of problems with the gas so far, but of course that does increase the prices of everything else, including everybody who wants to make air travel. It seems like everybody who suddenly increases their prices are trying to do that. So I wonder, where does the money go? If you be thinking about it, they always say follow the money, and you'll find out things. Well, follow the money, I guess, is what you'll see. But like I say, we haven't really had it too hard here. Like I say, we don't travel a whole lot, and that helps a lot too. I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, I'm trying to do the conversion of that, but yeah, the fuel price is certainly look high, but of course the problem is, yeah, fuel goes up, of course, yeah, the price of everything else goes up as well. And of course, yeah, transportation costs and things like that. But of course, yeah, it's one of those things. Gloucester here actually, they've taken advantage. They've bought the main operators now. They've bought electric buses. The main operator, Stagecoach, has invested in electric buses, and they've got them on some main routes as well, and quite long routes. Well, I say long routes, but yeah, to Tewkesbury and back. But of course, yeah, I would have considered that as one of the longer routes. But of course, yeah, back in the day, that's not so much now if you jump on a motorway. But of course, yeah, they've got them on those longer routes, and they've got to do those trips, so many trips a day, haven't they? So of course, the only thing is with a bus is, of course, they're longer, aren't they? So I suppose you've got a bigger battery capacity. And of course, you've got all that space where the engine used to sit, but of course now it'd only be a motor. So it'd probably be a bigger motor. But of course, yeah, pretty much just a motor. But yeah, they even the weight out across the whole thing using batteries normally. But yeah, you know, buses have gone electric. Some delivery companies have gone electric. But what I haven't seen yet is the HGV electric. I might be corrected, but I haven't yet seen the HGV electric. You know, some are coming out on the news saying, you know, like, you know, a main password provider or something like that going fully electric. But of course, they always say we're aiming towards net zero. That means they're doing a percentage. And then they feel a little bit better. Hi. So we'll see if anybody else would like to join us. If not, we'll be going back up. Well, we'll see if Will is still with us. He did say about friends, but of course Mark was just listening. But we'll see if Will is still with us. If he's not, he doesn't have to pick up, and then yeah, we'll just carry on. Mike Whiskey 3, Whiskey Mike Papa. Okay, nothing heard there. So is anyone else with us on the Saturday Ragchew Net? Go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, it's D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers. Round to you there, Steve. GW5 VOG.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Okay, you were talking about the battery capacity on second-hand electric cars. One good thing, if you're buying a second-hand electric car, make sure that the person you're buying it from has charged it up fully to 100% before you go and look at it, because when you turn the ignition on, you get a reading of what percent your battery is. So if they say it's charged up and it comes on and it's only 75%, you know the battery's deteriorated that much. And all batteries do deteriorate somewhat. As long as it's not too much, it's not a real problem. But that's one thing. You do get all that information as soon as you turn the ignition on, which is good. With the hybrid cars, I mean, I've still got a petrol car. I don't know too much about hybrid cars, but Rod was saying about how his electric range reduces by a half when it's cold. I'd imagine in a hybrid, perhaps you will know this, or Michael might know because he said he had one as well. They won't have the temperature management on the battery because it's only a small battery, isn't it, compared to full electric cars, and they probably don't bother. I mean, your petrol is the main drive, isn't it? Really, even for plug-in hybrids, they may not have the sophisticated temperature battery control, so that could explain why you have that drastic thing. So I think electric cars are the future. I'm afraid. Whatever you think, Chris, you're going to have to drive one in the future. And I wonder, what are your thoughts on heat exchange boilers, which we're supposedly all going to have one day? Because I was talking to my wife today about it, actually, strangely enough. Because she was saying that because we live in an old Victorian house with stone walls and that, and it's got, it's fairly large, so it's in a terrace, so that helps keep it warm. But she says heat pumps don't work; they're not strong enough to heat houses like that. So I wonder what you thought about it. Back to you, Chris M7CCS from GW5 DOG.
Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. So we're going to talk heat pumps, aren't we? So, well, most noises can do my head in. Let's say even if someone's talking on the gateway and I'm led there and I happen to wake up and hear it, it starts to do me head in after a while. So I've been told they emit a little hum. The other thing is yeah, they take up some real estate as well. Yeah, and of course you have to reinstate a water tank, which will cost you about £1,000. So yeah, and of course yeah, they don't they're not hot, are they? They work. There's a reason why they're meant to be economical. It's because they're not producing as much heat as what your boiler would. And it's meant to be a steady 20 degrees or so, evenly, which then apparently makes it warm. I don't know too much how that works, but I was told by somebody who was a plumber, to avoid them. So that's what I was told. But the other thing I have looked into is other technologies, because of course, I'm not happy with having the gas. So if you type in, I did say about it a few months ago actually. It is a Zulu Echo Bravo, I believe it's called. Type that in. That'll give you the basis. It's about the size of a dishwasher. Hot water on demand and heating done by battery. It will store energy on a peak rate, like on the charging rate for your car. Or you can have solar panel, a dedicated solar panel to it, which will charge into it as well. There are other boilers, the ZEB, as I've mentioned, that's what got me into it, but they're quite big, is what put me off with that. Then I started looking into ones that will just go on the wall and replace your gas boiler. And there are ones, and the battery pack can go elsewhere, and of course that's what takes up everything. And of course you can get charged them from your solar panel as well. So that's my view on heat pumps. I don't want one. Rain to you there, Rod. Easier. And I hit time, mate. Sorry for your ears, everyone.
G0, you said, coming right back, yeah, it's like you, Steve, our house is, I think 1900 house was built, and it is brick built, but it's detached, and my boiler man told me that it would be a total waste of time. It just wouldn't warm the house at all. I think they work quite well on new properties that are well insulated, and they have underfloor heating. I think they work quite well there. But on old houses, no chance at all. I mean, the two front rooms are on wooden floors, elevated wooden floors. So there's even the carpet doesn't stop the cold. On the back of concrete floor, so not a good idea. It's a conservation area, so I don't know if we'd get solar panels on anyway. But to be honest, the cost of solar panels at my age, it wouldn't be worth it. I probably won't use that much electric before I go to the gas chamber. So there we go. The battery. My car actually has quite a big petrol engine. It's a 2.4, so it's not a self-charging. The longest journey I do normally is I go to Ely, which is about 12 miles, I think. So I can't get there and back on a charge. But the engine kicks in and does it. Now, one day I did try it. I do use regen, by the way, but I have a charge facility as well. So the engine, while it's running on engine, it can charge. And in that 12 miles, I got 3 miles worth of extra battery power. So apparently it's not much good unless you can get a good speed up. Like if you're doing motorway journeys, it will charge, but then it causes the engine to be heavier on petrol. So I don't know. So, oh, there we go again. My goodness, we're doing some timeouts today. Back to you, Chris. M7CCS, T0UZ.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, of course, my timeout was on a DMR radio, which, yeah, I hadn't done nothing to it. Sometimes if I've got the volume too loud, yeah, it feedbacks when it does a timeout. So that's why I said sorry for your ears to people, because it squealed, which I knew was the timeout. One thing I laughed at, like I said, I watch these project cars and things where they buy them and flip them and stuff. And this guy had a task of buying, it was a BMW, he bought a BMW IC3 or something it was called. And it was their city car, their version of a hybrid apparently. But it wasn't a hybrid. Basically what it's got like a moped engine in the back, which basically does the regen to the battery. It charges the battery up. And when the battery's getting low, it will kick in. At higher reps, it will kick in. So it uses fuel as well. But of course, yeah, the BMW had written it off, literally written it off, and said it was an unrepairable car and things like that. The reason it had been written off is to drop that moped engine out just to change a sensor, which was firing up all sorts of faults, but it was just a sensor in the end. Yeah, it will cost so much labour that, yeah, BMW writ it off. His idea was, yeah, he just took the drill, he took the back seat out and he drilled pretty much near where the sensor was, very carefully, as careful as you can with a drill. And then, yeah, he put an inspection hatch on there, and he changed the sensor, and the car was back on the road, and he sold it. But, of course, yeah, I laughed that it was meant to be a city car, but it predominantly kept running on a diesel moped engine, pretty much most of the time, but it's the reason it wouldn't go anywhere, is because that engine wouldn't kick in. So, we go round to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And of course, yeah, me and Donna must be the dirtiest with a Nissan Juke with the diesel fumes high. Over to you there, Michael.
Chris, this Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And like I say, I know the prices have gone up and everything like that, and they are up a little bit, but I think we're getting by okay. We live in a brick house. It's about 2,100 square foot, and I have two central units for heating and air. One that covers the upstairs, and then another one that covers the main floor downstairs. So, and you know, we stay pretty comfortable. And then, of course, I was telling Donnie just a mere minute ago, we've been running the fireplace pretty good this week because the winter has been here, especially at night and in the early morning hours, and then it warms up a little bit as we go. You know, it's like summer peeks its head in and then shuts the door on us, and then winter steps back in, and then next thing you know, summer come back in too. Can't really make up his mind what he wants to do. Let's do a little food porn real quick. My wife made quesadillas this week. We had about a pound of ground beef that we locally sourced, local cow, and she made quesadillas with the ground beef and cheese and some other things she tucked in there and made a little pocket out of it. It was very delicious. Then she took the leftover ground beef and made what I call sheet pan nachos. Just take a baking sheet, put a little wax paper or aluminum foil on the bottom, scatter some tortilla chips on top of that, and sprinkle that ground beef on top of that, and then you can throw just about anything from cheese to salsa to anything else. Black beans is what a lot of times we use, and you can have a quick cheap meal in about 10 minutes because all you're doing is really heating up the top of it and let all the cheese melt into it. Very delicious. Had a meal in less than 10 minutes. Very delicious. And that's my food porn, and I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, thanks very much there, Michael, and for the food porn there. So shall we see if anyone else is on the side. So if you're on the side and you would like to join in, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over to be number 9. Okay, nothing heard, so we'll go back up to the top of the list. So we're going to go to GW5 VOG. Why have I got to say to the top of the list? We know where we're going. But yes.
GW5 VOG returning, thank you, Chris. Yeah, so it's the D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers now, which is quite appropriate actually, because D'Artagnan, that's you, Chris, is the young, enthusiastic, devil-may-care, fantastic sword fighter, while as the other three Musketeers are all old and a little bit overweight. So I think that probably is pretty accurate. So yeah, so thank you for your views on heat pumps. I looked up the Zeb thing. I think that looks quite good. I might get the wife looking at that. She loves anything that's to do with being economical and that kind of thing. She'll be working that out. Again, you know, that I like that idea of using cheaper electricity in the night and then running it off a battery in the day. I suppose the battery is going to be expensive. What's your position on solar panels? Because I'm sure you've seen there's been a lot of publicity recently about these small Balkan whatever. There's a lot in there. You can like the solar panel or just roof or something like that and plug it into the mains and it will charge, put electricity into the mains thing. They're not legal in Britain, but the government are thinking of allowing them to help with energy production and that kind of thing. So I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that, if you've ever heard about that. We're all going to have to change. We can always chop the furniture up and burn that. We've still got some open fires here, which we could bring back into open fire use. We've got gas fires in them at the moment. So although we've got a big gas boiler, we still use gas fires sometimes. I do very, very occasionally use a fan heater to just take the chill off a room now and again. Yeah, it's gonna come. So anyway, back to you, Chris M7CCS from GW5 VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, they've updated the website since I've last been there. It's now called a cheaper. Well, that's the brand that who make it. But it was just called as ever when I first discovered it. So yeah, so that's all good. And then the solar. Let's take a check on my roof for nothing. Check my roof. And I'm not too interested. If I do go a solar route, I will put some solar up there, but I want to store it to my own storage, if you get what I mean. It's all good if I say sell back to the grid and whatever, but you can't do it for however many years and whatever. And like some of us, many of us, all of them is Ragchew. Yeah, you're not going to see the payback benefits in your life. But yeah, I might see them back in my lifetime, and if I get them on there. but I don't want to be putting anything in my pocket. I will reach them back to the grid because they pay you for it. Yeah, it'll be that quibble. They'll say, hey, hang on, what about, what about in March 2026? Yeah, you said you'll pay me this much kilometerage for the energy, and I want more. But, I was joking. And so, but of course, it pays me back, but it might be worth having it. If it's just to reduce the energy and there's a difference in energy, then yeah, but you don't know until you've got the and so that's all good. But yeah, I can't give for those that know, Crichton approves that product, the Z. Yeah, he had something called the Old Electric Show. But yeah, we're talking about Robert Llewellyn, a bit scrappy and challenge. But yeah, he recommends, yeah. But anyway, then I went to his belly to recommend it. So go over to Roger G0, Roger, you said.
G0, you said? Yeah, I'll have a look at that, Sam. When I get a chance. Might be interesting. I mean, I had a new boiler in, it's probably, it's just out of warranty now, and it's a 7-year warranty. So it's probably only got 3 years left. I reckon 10 years for a modern boiler, don't they? Not like my cast iron boiler I had in my last house. I put it in. It was in for 30 odd years when we moved, 32 years when we moved. Still going strong. So just change the flame out device every now and again, and that was it. Yeah, I'm not impressed with solar panels. My sister has solar panels, which were put on by a company, but of course for that they take the feed-in charge. Which is a shame. I think they get cheap electric when
Yeah, dropped out when you said cheap electric, Rod. Okay, I think we lost Rod there, so we will skip on. He said cheap electric and then he got switched off. And so we go to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, and we'll catch Rod on the next round.
Chris, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. I've always liked the idea of solar panels, but I think it's going to take a little ways before they make them affordable enough for everybody, because not only is it the solar panels themselves, but the storage of it. And that's where it gets really expensive, is the battery storage. We have up one state is Kentucky, and one of their politicians up there, Thomas Massey, had a very genius. He's also an engineer by trade. He went to MIT and was an engineer by trade before he joined politics. But he found a wrecked Tesla and bought the battery out of the Tesla. He hauled it back to his house, and now he's got a massive battery at his house that runs everything. If you could have something like a Tesla battery at your house, you can afford a lot of the charging stuff. He does everything on the fly. If you ever get a chance to look him up, he has an amazing house he built by himself out of rock from his actual property, and it's well insulated, and he does everything based on the green energy, or what we would call alternate energy. And it's very cool because everything is designed perfectly. He has a chicken coop that actually runs off a capacitor and a solar panel. And what it does is it moves the chicken coop a little bit every hour, so the chickens have fresh grass to feed off of every hour, and then they can put together the eggs. It's just amazing the way that he does things and thinks about those things. So if you really want to talk about somebody green, the Thomas Massey from Kentucky, United States of America, you'll find some very interesting stuff there. Not that I have the intellect to do something like that, but I do appreciate people who do. His chicken coop runs off PyStar. If you can believe that, it's a PyStar computer running everything off the chicken coop, and he has several PyStars in his home too. Well, now I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. I was chuckling there where you were saying running a chicken coop off PyStar. But yeah, there was Chris. Okay, so I'm reading old comments on the YouTube there. Right, what was I saying? Chicken coop on a PyStar. Although I've known a train be hacked by a PyStar, it was on a UK drama where a train got hacked. But yeah, basically Raspberry Pi, basically the actual computer, the board, before the hat is added. But of course, yeah, you can use them for home automation, VPNs, of course hand clocks. There is another version of hand clock that you can check on a Pi. The flight aware radar, yeah, that's another project. But yeah, there are many things. Yeah, an old game eliminator, all sorts of things you can use a Raspberry Pi for. And yeah, it's all good there, Michael. So we're going to see if anybody else would like to join us. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, we're back up to the top of the list, so yeah, we'll see if Steve has noticed that I'm now on my preferred boiler, after seeing the Z, which was the Bolt. So yeah, waiting for that to become available on some grants, and that would be the one I would like. And that would work. So yeah, that's the one. It's smaller in space, and it don't take up no more room than your existing boiler. You just got to block the hole up that the flue goes out of. So over to you there, Steve. GW5 VOG.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Yes, I have been looking at the live stream. It's a bit. I always get a bit. I start to try and scroll it up and down myself, which obviously I can't do. And yeah, so the Bolt. I'm quite sure how that. Oh, that's got a Raspberry Pi in it. Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, is that similar to the Z then? It says about working on battery and solar, but is that a sort of hybrid? Does it still can burn gas? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure whether I saw that going past. Yeah, so it's gets a little bit complicated, doesn't it? I noticed the Z site said no grants available yet, but we're working on it. And I think the Bolt says similar things, doesn't it? So yeah, but the government are thinking of bringing in more grants, I think. So, but the weird thing, I don't know whether this affects you, Rod, is they're bringing in the paper miles thing, aren't they, for electric cars? And if I remember rightly, it applies to hybrids as well. So, although maybe yours is not enough electrical, I don't know what. It depends what you pay already for your road tax, doesn't it? Because of course, electric cars have been zero up to now, kind of, and now they're not going to be. And the reason is because more people are changing to electric cars. The government are not getting the revenue from the not the road fund tax. I mean, that was 0 at one stage. I think it's a bit higher now. But it's the petrol duty they're not getting. So the pay per mile thing for electric cars is going to be to make up a bit of that. So that's going to be a bit messy, I think. You'll have to declare your mileage every year. So I don't know whether it does apply to hybrids or whether it would apply to your hybrid. It depends how hybrid your hybrid is, doesn't it, I think. So anyway, okay, back to you then, Chris, M7CCS from GW5VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. So the bolt, it goes on the wall, connects up to all the existing pipes, except you're not going to need the gas when all the flue going out. And then it comes with 2 batteries, which basically, well, it comes with a battery, but you can upgrade and have 2 batteries. But you can mount it down below or in a cupboard or something. So it takes the size of it down. You said no grants available on the ZEB. Go on Octopus Energy, looking at going for a grant with them, and then say that you haven't got the real estate for the tanks. It will then put you over to having a grant with a ZEB. So there's that. And of course, yeah. So that's the thing, and of course, yeah, who knows, it was going to go boilers, and of course I was speaking about boilers, yeah, last week, and yeah, hopefully I can get a report now on yeah, the distortion. I saw a message about distortion on YouTube from me. So we will now go round to Rod G0 EUZ.
G0UZ. I hope I'm coming through. It's showing red on my dashboard. But it was last time. It was still showing red, and I could hear it wasn't coming across. So I'm waiting for the. Oh, it's caught up. Right, yeah. So I'm coming across. We'll just see how long it goes for. Yeah. The hybrid. Well, I do pay tax. It's 195, so it's not the 0. But yeah, if I have to start paying 1.5p a mile, it will be quite expensive, won't it? I think. Well, I presume it will apply to mine, but I'm not sure because it annoys me because, like you say, I do pay. When I do fill up with petrol, I pay road tax, petrol tax. So I don't know. But there we go. It's just one of those things. I might have to stop using it. I mean, I bought the car quite cheap. It was 6 years old, and it was much cheaper than any other cars that were 6 years old. So, but it's a Mitsubishi, and of course, Mitsubishi pulled out to Europe. You know, when we left the EU, they pulled out of the UK. I'm not sure if they pulled out of Europe altogether, but I think that's why the price was low. But I've liked the cars before anyway, so I do like it. I must admit, I do like it, and it wouldn't bother me if the batteries went all together and I used petrol all the time. I've been used to 4-wheel drive diesels for the last 30 years, and of course you get used to the noise, but when you get a silent or a quieter petrol engine, it's quite nice. So there we go. Okay, back to you, Chris. I think I'm still coming through. M7CCS G0 user.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yep, you were coming through, not a problem there. Yeah, because I was showing this boiler stuff, of course, yeah, there was no indication you were getting through, but I did drag Peanut over so that you could see you were getting through for a while. We go over to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Chris, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. I was going to go back to the man that I had a QSO this morning with on DMR. It was actually a DMR contact on Worldwide Talk Group. And he lives in Tel Aviv, which is right on the Mediterranean, right on the edge of the Mediterranean, just south of Haifa, where I've visited several times. I've been to Tel Aviv. Beautiful area out in that area. And the only thing he could talk about, because he was very popular. Everybody was hitting him up to talk to him, get QSOs, because there's not that many people from Israel, I guess, that do the ham radio thing. But because he was the first one I've talked to him from Israel. But actually, the second I talked to somebody about 5 years ago from Israel. But the only thing he was talking about was how nice the weather was. That was one of the things. It was nice and sunny and pleasant, with a nice little breeze, and you would never know that he might be potentially in a war zone or having missiles and things thrown at him, because he was pleasant as he could be just talking about the weather. So I guess that he either made the best as he could of the situation, or it wasn't as bad as everybody says it is. So, Tel Aviv is one of those areas that they seem to want to direct everything at, but he was doing fine. And the next guy, because as I was doing this between 7, 3, and 8 this morning, people were beginning to wake up and get on DMR. So that's my problem when I was trying to get on the gentleman from Pakistan, was everybody saw him log in and everybody wanted to talk to him, either the man from Israel or Pakistan. And so Worldwide gets busy really quick. But it was certainly a lot of fun to get those few minutes to talk to him. I talked to a man from Italy and the man from Israel. But before it got too crowded to even log in. But it was really kind of fun today. And I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Michael. So, I reckon we'll go round again one more time and then do 7-3. And of course, yeah, time has flowed today. And so, round to Steve, GW5, DOG.
GW5DOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, so the energy, future energy and heating and that sort of thing has definitely been the theme of tonight. I've learned about the ZEB and the Volt, so I'm happy about that. I still would quite like an electric car. I don't know why, but it just appeals to me. And my wife's been 100% against it. But the other day she said to me, "Oh, maybe we'll have to get an electric car." So you never know. Anyway, now my elder brother, he's 5 years older than me, so he's 81, and he bought an electric car about 6 months ago, and he hates it. Or he hated it, should I say. He was very disappointed with the range, and he wasn't. I think he had trouble sort of getting his head around all the public charging. Then he had a home charger put in, so I think he overcame that. But anyway, about 3 weeks ago, his wife was driving the car. Now I'm guessing perhaps that he does most of the driving, so she was not used And especially with an automatic gearbox, if you're not used to that, you do have to adjust. Although I've always found it's very easy to adjust. The few times that I've driven a car with an automatic gearbox, and also the regen that we were talking about before sometimes makes you can do like one pedal driving where you don't use the brake. And she obviously got confused somehow with the braking and ran into the back of another car, and their car was completely written off. The airbags went off and everything. They weren't injured at all, so that was fortunate. Anyway, so his car was written off, and so he's got a hybrid one now. He wouldn't have a replacement for the electric one, so there we are. And oh, you've got a car on the screen now. Let's see. I can't see what sort of car that is. It's an electric one because there's the charging cables. So there we are. The zero, whatever that means. The battery's on zero. Yeah, that I kind of because I've been looking into electric cars. I see all the fabulous tech that they've got.
CQNW weather update. Today in the northwest, temperatures range from 4 to 6 degrees. Expect light rain in the south around Crewe and Stoke, with 1 to 4 mph winds. Manchester stays drier with a light breeze at 4 mph, while Blackpool enjoys scattered clouds and stronger gusts, up to 7 miles per hour. Keep that umbrella handy if you're venturing to the south. 7-3 from M0NWX.
TW5VOG returning after the weather forecast. It's always windy in Blackpool, as you all know. Right, yeah, I was saying what I forget is that all that modern tech, you can get that in a petrol car now, can't you? My car is 2018, so that's 7 years old now. So it's got, a few of it's got screens and things like that, but it's not, it's not obviously not as up to date as modern cars. So, but I always tend to think that, to get the best tech, you get an electric car, but it's probably not true. Anyway, yeah. So we've learned a lot tonight about the future of heating and driving and all that sort of thing. So anyway, back to you, Chris. M7CCS from DW5VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. The reason I was showing that particular electric car, I was taking the Mickey with the first one, the G-Wiz, and then the BMW one, where you said, oh, there's a cable in the back. Well, underneath where that cable was a moped engine, and that's that car I was on about. Yeah, all good. So we go round to Rod, G0, EUZ, round to you there, Rod.
G0, EUZ, back to the group, yeah. I know, Michael, you said you had a hybrid. Is yours a plug-in hybrid or a self-charging hybrid? I seem to remember, was it a Hyundai? You both, the Hyundai Tucson. Yeah, I mean, my daughter has a full electric. Son-in-law has a hybrid, but he gets about 44 miles on the charge. And his mother is now she's sold a house with the solar panels on. She's now bought an electric car, but it is a self-charging. She doesn't plug it in. So that's not so bad. I mean, I generally charge, maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week. So I'm not using an awful lot of electric. Most of my motoring these days is just about a mile to the dog field and then a mile back, and that's it. and just the Monday shopping. Occasionally, the granddaughter drags me, once I left in Cambridge. Now, if I'm fully charged, I can get to Cambridge and back without using the engine. So it's not so bad. So, yeah, back to you then, Chris. M7CCS, G0, use it.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I don't want to upset Michael. It's not a Prius, is it, Michael? But all I know is if I watch some American and they're talking about an electric car and they don't like them, they say they go on about the Prius. So yeah, over to you there, Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Chris, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. And no, I would not buy a Prius, to be honest with you. My hybrid is self-charging, so it does. Well, it's kind of innovative. It's from Korea. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It starts with a K, I'm sure, but I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the brand of it. But we ordered it from Korea, and they shipped it over. And what it is, when you apply the brake, it charges the battery in the car. I know this sounds very strange, but that's what happens. Or at least that's what they told us. And the reason I didn't get a full electric car was one of the things the salesman actually told me that he said they don't have it perfected yet, and the electric cars were actually more expensive, would have made more money off selling me an electric car than would have if he had sold me a hybrid. And plus, the charging stations, I priced a charging station at my house to charge one up, and it was about $4,000 to $6,000. I saw an interview just this morning, as a matter of fact, a part of one anyway, when I was flipping through the channels on the TV, and they were interviewing a man that was in transportation director over a school district, and I think it was in school district up north, and he had done the calculations. They had half their fleet was in electric buses, and the other half was gas. He said per mile it was $3.50 to run an electric bus, over about 68 cents to run a gas-driven bus, because of the charging station and all the other equipment that you had to buy for it. And up there where they were at, it cost a lot more because the batteries had to be warmed up before they could leave the station, things along those lines. So it was actually almost 3 times the cost to go to electric than it was to run gas. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, I was trying to find the brand of that car. All I could get up was Colmar, Korea. So, yeah, developed hybrid. No, that's a sunscreen with stabilization technology. It's not even about cars, is it? But, yeah, that's what you get when you Google really quick. But, alright, it's time to do this 11-3 round now, so we're going to go round to Steve, GW5, VOG.
GW5 VOG returning, thank you, Chris. Kia, I'm thinking of. KIA, Kia. That's from South Korea, I think. And they do a lot of hybrid and electric cars. So, yeah, maybe that might just be a name they use in Britain, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't notice that was a sunscreen. How many miles to the gallon can you get with sunscreen? I wonder. Yeah, so 73 to everybody. The old brigade it is tonight again. As I've already said, the theme tonight was definitely new technology, heating, driving, all that sort of thing. So yeah, we were on the ball, I think. So thank you, Chris, for being net controller and looking after us. Best wishes to everybody and all your families, and may not be on next week, I'm afraid. It's Easter, isn't it, I think, maybe, but I know my two sons are coming to stay here. One is coming for about 4 days, and the other one's coming for a couple of days at the weekend. So I'm at the mercy of whatever they want to do. I have to do it, otherwise I get into trouble with the boss. So I'll do my best to be on next week, but I might not be. So if I'm not here, you'll know where I am. So 73 to everybody. Back to you, Chris. M7CCS from GW5D.R.G in a group.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Well, yep, 7-3 to you there, Steve. And of course, yeah, time has gone on. So we will now go round to Rod G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ. Yeah. Just a quick one, yeah. It's home charging, yeah. My son-in-law has a home charger, and when he's actually plugged in, his entire house gets half-price electric. But I think that cost him about £1,000 to put in. I don't have a home charger. Mine just plugs into the mains via its own charging, whatever. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So that works all right for me. To be honest, for what I use it, I don't think £1,000 would be worth it. Although the half-price electric would be nice. So there we go. So yeah, 7-3s to everybody. I will not be on next Saturday because I'm away, and we shall look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. So hope everybody stays well. I hope Kathy gets better, Michael, and we'll speak to you all again soon. M7CCS G0EUZ.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Yep, 7-3 there. And I've made a note of it in capitals. Not on next week. So I'll see that before I turn the page over, and by the time I start the Ragchew, I'll have forgotten. But yeah, it's there. Yeah, we'll go round to Michael now. Whiskey Alpha 5 Romeo India Popper. Round to you there for your 7-3.
Chris, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo into Papa. I looked up my car. It's actually a Hyundai, not a Honda. Hyundai, Hyundai, from Korea. Both of my cars are the Hyundais. One's a little small sedan with a lift back, is actually a hatchback, and the other one is an SUV. Like I say, both of them have been great cars. We've had the little one longer time frame than we had the other one, but both have been excellent cars. And Chris, it looks like you and I may be it next week if ever Stephen and Rod are going to be gone. It may be the two of us doing a net back and forth unless somebody else joins in, like Indoff and some of the other people. So prepare to be short net, I mean, not a short net, but a tight net between the two of us. Come up with lots of things to talk about, Chris, okay? And with that, I hope everybody has a great week and stay safe in your travels and enjoy your family gathering up with you. And we'll talk to you again soon whenever you come back from everywhere you're going to be. 73 from Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Sierra, well, 7-3 to you there, Michael. And of course, yeah, well, we could get organised, and yeah, if there's only going to be two of us, then if I find a chessboard and you find a chessboard, I'm sure we'll keep it going for a couple of hours. I'm only joking, hi. 7-3 for now there, Michael, and catch you later on down the log. Right, I've been Mike 7 at Charlie Sierra. We've had quite a good net there. Remember, the clocks go forward 1 hour tonight at 2 a.m. It's even bigger on my close screen. Yeah, 7 for real. Catch you later down the log. Yeah, watch out for a post for his net. Of course, he has been doing them as of recent, but of course his hands could deteriorate and not be as good, so he might not do them. But you can catch him on a Wednesday at 16:30. 7 for real. Catch you later down the log.